That's a lovely intro. We always need a round of applause. True Podcast in the house. What's up, everybody? Our family,
What's going on?
our loved ones, our friends. Y'all know what it is. It's another wonderful Wednesday night here at True Podcast on the wonderful, the amazing, the awesome platform Podcastic.
Hey,
Our engineer is the best. All right. So well, of course, we always have wonderful topics. We have a really great show for y'all. I hope that everybody tunes in, tag somebody, call somebody, scream something out the window to get on here with True Podcast. Please do. Y'all hear? Y'all know who that is. That is my best friend, D-Mac.
What up, though? What up, though?
Mac.
What?
What's up with you?
Nothing. No. He's always something up. I got accepted. I was transferring my schooling from Phoenix University to a school in Michigan because they wanted me to fly out to Arizona for these residencies. I didn't fly out to walk across the stage. I'm not about to fly out, get a hotel, get a car, miss work, pay for all that at my own expense.
Exactly.
For what? So I got accepted in the Baker. I got my official acceptance today.
Congratulations.
So the master's in counseling
Congrats.
degree shall continue on. Let's go.
Let's go. That's right. So that means that it was a wonderful week for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yay.
All weeks are wonderful.
I know.
When they're not.
That's what I love about Mac. Mac, that really is. Mac is really. I know y'all hear me say that a lot every time we air that. Hey, it's my best friend. No, she really is my best friend. So myself, oh my goodness, and so Mac be knowing this already, but it's been a packed week for Tat, okay? But one thing that stood out, and it also made me think a lot about life, you know what I'm saying, like afterwards, it was this past Sunday when me and a few of my girls, we actually had to get people out of a burning building, you know, and it was that instant when it's like, you immediately just pray. I stopped and I said, I can get out of here right now and not worry about nobody, me and my girls. And it was like, God, please let us get every last person out of here. I mean, there were a lot of people that was on the Hoyer lift, you know, they were in the wheelchairs, you know, and we had to really like react real fast. And it was at that moment, it was like, what would Jesus do? It was not, what's the evacuation plan they tell you to go back? None of that stuff. It is, what would Jesus do right now? You know, so I just want to give a shout out to those girls. I know they're probably on here, like two of them should be on here. Thank you, ladies. We did our thing, and I'm glad God gave us the strength. And we got those people out there burning building.
Amen, amen, amen.
Yes. Mac.
Yes.
Let us know what's going let the people know what's going on tonight and why they should be calling in with us tonight.
Well, before we do that, we want to introduce our beautiful guest.
Yes.
I have sitting to my right a friend of mine that I've known for over 20 years, we discovered when we counted back.
A long time.
You know, she's one of the greatest hairstylists in the city, very professional. She's also a teacher, and she's going to give us a teacher perspective on our topic today. We'll get into that in a moment. Miss Toya.
Yo, what up, D?
Give us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell our audience just a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, of course, my name is Latoya. In the hair world, they call me Dark Child. I am the owner of the Beauty Factory Hair Lounge in Redford, Michigan. I've owned my business, y'all, 14 years.
Get it, girl.
Yes, and I am currently also a teacher at American International Academy in Inkster.
Yes.
Where I started my own cosmetology program.
And she getting it in at this. Them little girls learning that hair thing.
That's right.
They are magnificent.
Can you teach me how to French braid? I still don't even. I'm 46.
I can teach you whatever you want to know.
Thank you. I'll be calling you.
And she's licensed. Let's not forget that.
Twice,
Okay.
Twice.
That matters.
Yes, it does.
There's hairstylists and there's licensed hairstylists. All right. They know about the chemicals. They know how to repair.
Okay.
They don't just know how to put the curlers to the hair.
Yes.
And burn out all your edges. My other guest is Miss Artesia Bomber.
Yes.
And sitting to her left is Miss Princess.
So sweet face.
Artesia, instead of me giving you an intro, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself? And if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself as well, somebody's volume is up.
Well, I want to tell you about my daughter first, Princess. She attends Cody High School. She's 16 years old. And she's going to weigh in today on, should teachers bring guns to school? But I want to say that she goes to Cody High School, and I got an amazing phone call the other day that told me my daughter is in school every day. She's on time. She's student of the month, everything. So that's a good feeling.
Princess, do that. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself that your mom didn't tell us, or you want to digress until we get to the topic? Okay, I understand. And another guest we have here is one of my clients, Mr. Uncle D-Lo.
Uncle D-Lo in the house.
D-Lo in the building. D-Lo, tell us a little bit about yourself, my boy.
Just a regular citizen. I ain't got no fancy story like the rest of them, but I'm here, to share my perspective on what's going on.
All right, we
or the topic, rather.
That's right. That's what's up. We appreciate it. Thank you for being in the house with us.
Appreciate it.
Amen.
Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, Mac.
All right, so tonight, y'all, we talking about gun-toting teachers.
Ooh.
Should teachers be armed in the classroom? This has become a national debate. Some people believe that it would be a deterrent because, schools are what's considered soft targets, right? Mm-hmm. You're not expecting people to be armed. Maybe a resource officer, one or two, but you're not expecting a multiplicity of people to be armed. So some people think that if people thought that schools were armed, that it would be a deterrent to the crime or a deterrent to them attacking our elementary, middle, and high school, even college campuses. Some people believe that it would be dangerous, even create more danger. So it's flip sides to this coin. You have people that think that this would be helpful. It may reduce response time to attacks. It may prevent murders or save lives. But then you have those that feel that this thing could escalate situations.
Right.
That there may be a situation that may not be life-threatening.
Right.
That can become life-threatening because of the presence of a gun.
Right.
Or there are people that think that there may be situations out of the control of the teacher, where example, the gun may be apprehended by a student and the student may misuse it, or all these different concerns. The balance is they're trying to figure out how do we balance securing the safety of our children while maintaining the integrity of the educational institution.
Exactly.
And not taking the teachers out of their educational role and putting them in the role of law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So before we get into all of the different perspectives, we do have a few clips that we want to play. One clip is a teacher. She's going to offer her brief perspective. Another clip is a father who has mixed feelings about the matter. And then we have Donald Trump meeting with some students that were victims of a school shooting and his perspective on it, as our incumbent POTUS. And we also have a news story. So bear with us for about 3 to 4 minutes. They're not long. We try not to belabor you, but I do want to offer this information on the table before we get to debating.
Let's look.
Former teacher, I would never carry a gun to school. And I know how to use a gun and I own it. I would never carry a gun in front of my students. I loved my students. I would die for them, but I would not shoot them.
Big one that has people talking, concealed carry for teachers. Emotions high, the pain raw, as President Trump held a listening session about gun safety with those who've lost loved ones in school shootings. Andrew Pollack, who lost his daughter in the Parkland, Florida shooting, questions how the nation can protect its airports but not its schools.
My daughter has no voice. She was murdered last week and she was taken from us. Shot 9 times on the 3rd floor. We, as a country, failed our children. This shouldn't happen.
The president brought up the possibility of arming some teachers with guns.
I really believe that if these cowards knew that the school was, well guarded from the standpoint of having pretty much professionals with great training, I think they wouldn't go into the school to start off with. I think it could very well solve your problem.
Wisconsin's Attorney General thinks each school district should be able to choose, putting the Department of Justice in charge of training. Governor Scott Walker today says arguments on both sides need to be looked at closely.
Doesn't mean we couldn't do it. I just think we want to make sure that it's not just a spur of the moment, but that we really look at the details and measure the pluses.
We spoke with Michael Frisch shortly after the Newtown shooting 3 months ago. He's a father of 3 young ones who, had they not moved recently, they would have been at Sandy Hook. Frisch feels something needs to be done to make schools safer. So how about arming teachers with guns?
If you pull it out and you're so nervous and you drop it on the ground, you're going to get used against your child.
But allowing teachers to pull the trigger is exactly what's behind House Bill 1097. The newly introduced legislation would allow principals to pick as many teachers as they want to pack heat in the classroom.
There are guns on school property. There's a school resource officer. So how would it be any different of having somebody going through the proper training?
State Representative Greg Stubbe said.
The panel voted 13-1 in favor of arming teachers. The president of the Hillsborough County Teachers Union here told us that he does not think that it will fix any of our problems. Parkland, Sandy Hook, Columbine, 3 places forever linked to horrific school shootings, reinforcing a sad reality for parents and educators.
It could be anywhere.
Rob Crete is the president of the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association. He never wants to see another student killed by gun violence, but their union doesn't agree with arming teachers.
A teacher's day and job is so complex, and there are so many different things that they have to do. The idea of adding a weapon to that in terms of their skill set and being able to operate that and plan for that, I think is really absurd.
Members of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Commission recommended that teachers who volunteer and undergo extensive background checks and training be allowed to carry concealed guns on campus. The draft report says 11 high school attacks were stopped by administrators, teachers, and staff. They are also more likely the first to be killed. So why not give them a chance to protect themselves, the commission chair said.
You're putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound.
Crete says more guns wouldn't have stopped the Parkland shooting.
Appreciate your patience. I just wanted to drop a few nuggets out there before we get into this debate. So we have an educator on the platform, Ms. Latoya.
What's going on?
How would you feel about being armed in your classroom? Would you be comfortable being armed? Do you feel that your students will be comfortable with you being armed? And yes or no? If there's no yes or no, give me your pros and cons.
So I'm gonna give you a yes because I feel like my students trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my students don't know that I'm an armed carrier because I don't think that's their business to know.
Okay.
But because they trust me, I believe that they wouldn't have a problem with it. But the only way that I would do that is if, 1, it was allowed on our school property, and 2, if we had a lockbox to put it in.
Mm-hmm.
Due to, you never know how a student is feeling, or if a student is to get into a fight and they may get angry and know where that weapon is and grab it and possibly shoot another student or myself or themselves.
Right.
So if they were to do that, it would definitely have to be a lockbox because there is a lot of things going on in schools today. I was just telling you guys earlier that there was a guy running through the neighborhood and they locked down the entire street. What if he got into the school?
Right.
But no one had a weapon to carry.
Right. Do you think also with being a teacher that you all should also go through like extensive like training and things like that, because like yourself, we know that you're not one of those hothead individuals.
Absolutely.
And you see there's been some incidents where teachers have become like hot-headed, and it's also because they're being attacked, threatened, whatever. So do you think it should come with like extensive training for this?
Absolutely.
Screening.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And here's why. Everybody that is licensed to carry a gun can't shoot a gun.
Right.
They're just licensed to carry one. They pass the test, they're carrying a gun.
But the truth of the matter is a lot of people that don't even pass the test. So what happened, I'm just going to be honest, there's a lot of people out here getting gun licenses that ain't never been to the range.
That's true.
Just because they're paying for the certificate.
Absolutely. And
you understand what I'm saying?
And that's why I was going to say as well, that's why you need proper training to take proper protocol for those things, just like we take training for how to deal with a student,
right.
PBIS skills,
right.
Classroom management, all those things play a factor. So definitely, I would say training is a must.
I agree with you.
So you would be willing to be an armed teacher as long as there's a lockbox?
Yes, ma'am.
And the lockbox or the mechanics of the lockbox matters, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to be fumbling with keys.
No, I want to be able to punch a number in.
Yeah. Or not even punch a number, maybe a finger.
Or maybe even a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Because
something that can immediately open that in the immediacy of an emergency.
Absolutely.
Right?
I agree.
Artesia.
Yes.
As a mother and the president of the PTA. And she's a mother of 10, by the way, y'all.
Yes.
Clap it up, because she did this thing 10 times. I did it one time, and I can't imagine 9 more. But big ups to you.
But thank you.
As a mother, as the president of the PTA, which means you're in the building. Mm-hmm. So you're at risk as well, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about teachers being armed in the schools?
So, I really, really love that teacher down there sitting next to you.
Amen.
Did you look in my window? Were you listening to my phone calls? Did you look in my brain? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I was so amazed that I'm a Republican, so I was happy to see Donald Trump just now. I'm sorry, I gotta tell the truth.
Let me pause for a second. We want to acknowledge this comment.
Misha
Lynn. She said, "I'm a first-time viewer. Love the content so far, and host DMAC is so articulate. I feel like it would be a great thing."
It goes on to say, no different from
Thanks,
schools.
Misha.
So she went on to say, no different from schools wanting lunch aides to be CPR certified. I don't think any teacher would harm any innocent student.
No.
Appreciate you, Misha. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Artesia.
It's okay. So, like you said, yes, president 2 times over, but my daughter goes to the school too, Cody High School. Mm-hmm. So yes, I'm in agreement with you. Definitely, the president, of course, I'm in agreement with him. And yes, it should be some type of locked situation because we have some teachers that are irate as well. Mm-hmm. My kids used to go to a school where the teacher was fighting in the hallway with the kids. So imagine if he had a gun on him. Teachers have feelings too.
So it shouldn't be all teachers.
So definitely not all teachers. It should be like a presidential situation where our president would have access, codes to take care of America for us. It should be that way at the school. We should get a vote. Who is the most calmest person in this school, so we can be able to know who we can go with, because even sometimes principals can have attitudes as well.
So can I say something to that?
Yes.
And that's a true factor, that we all have emotions to things. But I think, again, with proper training as a teacher, you are not supposed to use your personal emotion when you're dealing with a student.
Right. And also with the teacher and the parent. Let me ask you guys this.
I'm both too.
There we go.
Auntie Mama like you.
Yeah. Oh.
See, Auntie Mama, how many?
Thank you. We got
3 of them, right?
3.
3 of them.
Yeah.
10 years.
I need a hug from you later on.
Okay.
Do you also think it also starts with the security team that these schools have in place? Because yes, we're speaking on the teachers, but I also believe that they also need to invest in better security teams in our school grounds as well. I understand, hey, everybody needs a job these days and things like that, and they're gonna come take the job and we're gonna place them there. No, go. I think it needs to be a better system, like better training for the security as well. It's like it's weak within the security first.
Absolutely.
Because nothing should really be getting to y'all. No. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Not that easy, but things are happening. You know what I'm saying? A lot.
So when you say security systems, are you referring to the locked doors? Are you referring to the automatic locked doors? Or are you referring to training security officers?
All of it. Because it's nowadays it's easy to just get into these schools, whether it be the doors, windows or whatever it is, and also alarm systems, just like we're using our Ring cameras, things like that. Be able to have some screens or something and see actually, they do have some, but I don't, people probably not really monitoring it. So maybe they'll go with security officers or things like that. Somebody's actually monitoring what's going on. Because this really is crazy out here and it's not getting any better, just yet. So I think also with our officers, like I say, nowadays they just hire whoever. You'll come in to be some, not saying little frail girl or something, don't have them hands or feet or whatever it is, but it's like anybody can get the job these days. You know what I'm saying?
Uncle D-Lo. You're an uncle. You're not a father, but you're an uncle. And they matter, right? How do you feel about your nieces or nephews being in a classroom with an armed teacher? Would you feel comfortable with that? And if so, why? If not, why? If you have mixed thoughts about it, give us your flip coin.
I'm more sure on the side of they should, but I am kind of mixed about it because, like they were speaking on, humans are teachers too, right? So, I feel like it should be some type, like everybody been saying, some type of training or some type of psych evaluation to make sure these teachers or these people are stable. Because we've seen, kids act out of these school shootings, but we also seen teachers go over the deep end as well. You know what I'm saying? So with them having, access to a gun, like what do that look like in the classroom?
Okay.
You feel me?
Is it on your hip?
I don't think it should be on your hip, but I do think, like she said, it should be accessible to where if you hear something, I can get to that in 5 seconds or less. You know what I'm saying? Because you think about that situation in Texas where those police are scared to go inside that school, but you got this person inside the school shooting at kids. You know what I mean? Like, so what about those courageous teachers?
And that went on for so long.
So what about those courageous teachers that's willing to step in? You know what I mean? But on the flip, when you see these videos of teachers flipping kids over desks or
that could be
whooping kids, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Because me as an uncle, like, for my nieces and nephews, I'm willing to go the extra mile.
So if a teacher flipped them over the desk, you at that building, right?
I don't even know who you cuss, but yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta think, like, with them having, and then I think back on when I was in school, and like, we gave teachers hell sometimes, right? But then I don't really know how to put it right here, right now, but like I said, like with them, I feel like it should be some type of psych evaluation, like over, not just one, and then they just get it, like just something to keep
continuous.
Yeah, exactly.
Certified.
Like,
Yeah. You have to be certified after you take the course. Like, we need to make sure you really know what's up.
So we're not talking about just going through CPL training, because you can go learn how to shoot a gun. Yeah, but then what teaches you how to respond in a critical incident?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Something that's heightened tension. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? As if you're law enforcement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to have additional training beyond just having a license to carry.
I love that.
Because, like you said, everybody that's licensed to carry
don't even know how to shoot.
Don't even hit their target.
That's right.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
So
like you said too, mental issues or flying off the handle with the snap of a finger. You can't do that.
Yeah, and then sometimes you can get licensed, you can pass the background check and all that, and then something snap. Somewhere in between, because that gun license lasts for several years now, right? Somewhere in betwixt, you getting it and it expiring, some shit could pop off.
And that's right.
And there should be, I feel that as a parent, that there should be like you said, some mental evaluation, but I think it should be ongoing and persistent, and not just once every 5 years,
right,
like the CPL, because
right.
you can go through some crisis and you can just feel like the world has come to an end, just like some pilots diagnose that plane with other people, and some people take off in the car, and some people go shoot up a whole bunch of people. Just take yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But people go through things in life that push them to places.
Right.
And that it doesn't depend upon the expiration date of your CPL.
Right.
Yes. Thank you.
And what's also another thing you guys hit on, and that's the part that's sticking out with me, is when you all brought up how these altercations between the teachers and the students, not just these people that just run up in there and just, just end up deranged and doing this, but the actual students, so that they encounter every day, and I'm getting, like, with myself being an auntie mom, I'm getting all these these robocalls every day. It let me know about any little incident that happened around the schools, and I'm just like, what? And like lockdown. Student brought in a knife. A fight broke out. People in the camp here with guns. I get the robocalls every day about what, and then they come in the text form as well. And I'm sitting there like,
and they want you to sit at home as a parent and sit there and just wait till 3:00 dismissal, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Pardon me.
If you don't let me
My
get
child
back.
is in the building. Even if I can't get in, I'm on my way. You hear me? Hey, princess. Hey, girl.
And that's, you know what?
I want to ask her a question.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let's get princess.
What grade are you in, baby girl?
10.
10th grade. Okay, she about 15.
No, 16.
16. Okay, sweet 16. You go to Cody. I grew up in that neighborhood. It is not, I don't know what it's like now, because that was back in the 80s and 90s when I was going on. But it was tumultuous. It was a lot of fights. It was a lot of gang banging. It was a lot of shootings. It was a lot of setting up, beat downs, all that. Is that still going on at the school? Okay, let me ask you. You're a student, right? How safe would you feel with a teacher packing heat in the classroom?
Not safe.
You wouldn't?
Wow.
Is that because of the personalities of the teachers?
Yeah.
So some of them have hot heads, and you wouldn't trust them with that?
I agree.
Would you feel safer with them not having a weapon and somebody coming in versus them having a weapon to protect you? You would. So you trust you? Okay, then.
Wow, that's deep.
But that's deep, and that speaks to the school. You know what I'm saying? Like, it speaks to what is happening in and around that school, right? Because if you feel safer with the teachers not having a weapon, that's powerful. Like, and that's crazy.
Yes.
So you think some of them teachers would misuse the use of that weapon? Like, let's say if somebody was getting jumped in the classroom, you think that teacher would pull the weapon out?
Yeah. Probably.
Really?
Not to hate you. Need to
Or
come
if they
back
was
back.
jumping the teacher, you think that teacher would pull the weapon out? Because they jump the teachers, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. And is that
Poor
because
teachers.
see, do they
Yeah,
not
poor
have a
teachers.
right
Yeah.
to protect themselves at
Right.
some?
That is crazy.
I'm in a classroom with 20 plus people at least
Yeah.
that can pop off at any given moment.
Yeah.
And I'm a sitting duck. I'm the soft target.
Back the teachers these days don't get the respect
If I was a
they used
teacher,
to
I'm
have
telling
back
you.
in the day.
I'm sneaking
so
mine
can I
in.
touch on that?
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
respect in the classroom?
Yeah.
Yes,
Here's what I
please.
think. All teachers, I hope you listening because I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
Here's my
Educator.
problem with educators in the classroom.
Okay.
A lot of people say they can't get their students to do what they need them to do. Here's why. They have no structure.
Say it again.
They have no structure.
Ooh, she said it
I'm
again.
5'2". I have some students that's 6'2".
Right.
And when I say move, they know I mean move, whether they're a girl or a boy.
Right.
And I think it's the respect because it's consistent. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So
change.
you have to establish that at the onset.
I established that the first day.
Let me
I
tell
mean
y'all.
what I say, and I say what I mean.
She invited me
That's
to to teach a barber class in her cosmetology class at the school.
Okay.
And these kids, when I saw the respect, she was
That's
like,
right.
hold on. Even when they tried it,
That's
she was
right.
like, wait, hold up. And I mean, they immediately
they respect. That's
and
right.
I really think that matters because
It
you
does.
can't go into this environment of teaching timid.
Yep.
No. And you
Because
gotta get love.
kids gonna peep that shit.
Right
Excuse
away.
my language, princess.
Right.
But I'm sure you hear it at Cody.
Right.
From the teachers.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
Our
But-
motto is love, laugh, learn at our school.
Yeah. That's
So not only are we consistent, but we love on our students and we laugh with our students.
That's
Say
right.
that.
And I want to let's get the call-in number up there.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, we love for you guys to call in. I'm going to read a few comments.
I
see
was
you guys.
hoping you did that. I was
you
looking
know
at a
it.
few. Let's
I get these comments, and first the number's on the screen, but it is 810-560-0658. Again, 810-560-0658. Call in. All right, so I have a few comments I'm going to read off. I see my sister Trill. Hey, Trill, I see you on there. We got Shauna. Hey. Mrs.
We have a
Oh, got a
caller.
caller.
We'll get to the comments in a moment. We have a caller.
Who's calling?
This is Orlando.
Hey! This was
Missing in action.
What's going on?
What's up, Orlando? As a father, what is your take on this topic, sir? Can you turn the volume down on your phone, though? Or
yeah, it might be your volume on your phone.
we hear the volume on your phone. Can you
Okay.
turn the volume down? All right.
Okay, y'all good?
What is your perspective as a father of girls, right? And would you feel safer with your daughters being in the classroom with an armed teacher?
Yes.
Yes?
And why?
Expound.
Because I think, you know what I'm saying, certain students, you know, things can happen in a like a drop of a dime. These students come in the classroom with guns and sneak guns into, or weapons as a knife or anything, you know, to bring great bodily harm.
Mm-hmm.
I think the teachers should be equipped to handle the situation.
Okay.
So would you feel that all teachers should be armed or just a certain number of teachers in the building?
I mean, how I don't know how. I would think all of them need to be armed, but they would have to go to some type of psyche evaluation type situation. You know what I mean? Where they not just crazy about to come in and just open fire on your children. Do you know some intense background checks and training in them type of situations? You know what I mean? Because a little girl got killed at Wayne State that hit home close to me because, you know, she was a family member of my ex, you know what I mean? And if the teacher had a weapon, maybe he could have, you know, prevented the situation from going on the way it went.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you think that it would start first with, I mentioned like security, meaning like as far as systems, officers, or you think it goes hand in hand like with both, or should it start like with the security?
I mean, security is supposed to already be in place, and it seemed like it been failing. You know what I mean? It ain't been protecting the kids the way that it should be. But you know, the police been doing a great job of responding to active shooters. It seems like they get there kind of, you know, quick, and they going through training and, you know, different scenarios to make it where, you know, they can handle the situation.
Do you remember
faster.
that? Do you remember that school shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas, when there was a police response, but them niggas got there and was scared, and they standing
Right
in
now,
the hall.
son was scared. Yeah, he was scared, and they got penalized for that and punished for that. He was scared. He didn't enter the building. You know, you got to think they human just like us too. So run into a gunfight, they thinking about their kids, even though they get that oath to, you know, protect and serve and to put their life on the line. Some of them just cry out when it's that time. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel it shouldn't be just up to law enforcement. Teachers should be enforcing it as well.
I believe I wouldn't be against it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be against it if teachers was armed, or maybe it was some type of panic box in there where they won't, necessarily got to have it on their hip all times. You know what I mean? But something like with a special type of code where if they do activate that code, it alerts the office, it alerts staff, police, or security in the building. It's alerting
like
people that this box is being opened for. So it got to be a threat going on. You know what I mean? Or if it's not a threat, and maybe the teacher having a mental meltdown, and more people is going to storm that room, even if they have to stop the teacher from doing something crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that sounds legit right there.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks for calling, Orlando.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your perspective, my boy.
Missing in action.
Y'all too. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
I saw a comment I want to pull up. Let me go back. LaJoya said, where is it? She said, as a former teacher, no one is safe with anyone having a gun in the school environment. LaJoya, 810.
Yeah, I disagree.
560-0658. I got to remember this one. 810-560-0658. Either you can comment here or call in, because I really want to know. I want you to expound on that. And I think where she's coming from is because, like I said in the intro, some situations that are not life-threatening can become life-threatening when like the presence of a gun is, for example, let's just give this little hypothetical situation, right?
Yes.
We worried about outside threats, but there might be inside threats, right? The teacher has conflict with a couple students in the classroom. Now, you're really supposed to be protecting the students and yourself from anything coming in, right? But let's say there's this situation, which we've seen all over social media, which I wish I would have submitted a couple clips of kids beating up teachers.
I wish you could.
But I didn't want to inundate y'all with a lot of clips. But we know that happens, right? We've seen teachers get slapped, pummeled, flipped over, all that, beat up. And so let's say a couple students in the classroom decide they want to jump the teacher, and the teacher has access to this lockbox. Now, that can get real tricky legally, right? Because if you're allowing me to carry this weapon in the school to protect not only myself, but my students, and these students jump me, and I use the colloquial phrase, I felt like my life was in danger. And I used my fingerprint to pull this gun out to protect my life against the attackers, which are not from outside, they're from within. That's where it gets crazy.
It does.
Because we're living in a culture now where these students, it's not just teachers, it's not just, attackers coming for the soft target. It's these students are unruly.
They are.
I sat in several of my students' classes, and I'm like, who? You know who you talking to? I had to literally pull it. I'm like, don't talk to the teacher like that.
Well, one great thing I can say about schools too is now a lot of schools have cameras in the classroom.
The classroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
And especially with like middle and elementary schools, because there are a lot of dangerous things that happen, and they need to be able to move fast.
Right.
What I love about high school where I am, I teach upper middle to high school, so that's anywhere from 8th to 12th grade. What I love about our school is that, one, you have to know your students, right? We know that anything can happen in any situation. You have to know your students, and with that situation, like you said, with the gun, that shouldn't be your first move to go reach for a gun.
If they're about to jump you?
If they're about to jump you, that shouldn't be your first move. One,
Knuckle up.
I'm saying be close to the dogs.
I ain't gonna be no teacher.
You can be a teacher, D. But I promise you that will be the day that I lose my job. Because, again, I'm still a human being.
Yeah.
With feelings.
You're gonna come back at them with them hands.
But I'm going to use proper protocol before anything.
Okay.
Right.
So if I have to lose my job, it's going to be for the right of my will. You know what I mean? But I'm going to follow proper protocol first, and reaching for a gun is not the first thing I'm going to do.
So you ain't going to lose your,
I'll
you
reach
might
for a
lose your
chair.
job, not your freedom.
Right. I'll reach for a chair.
A viewer on here, she also says she's also in education. Carlisha Rhodes. She says,
"Hey, Carlisha."
Hey. She says, "Sorry, but the issue is not the teachers; it's the students and these young parents. And the teachers feel unsafe. I work in education."
I agree with her because let me tell you, one time I had sent my son's teacher an email, and I'm like, "Would you please call me because I need to talk to you about some things concerning my child." Right now, my child told me some things, but I'm wise enough to know there's two sides to every story, right? So I want to hear yours. But when she called, she was expecting irate.
Ooh.
She was expecting me. She was already defensive and ready for this attack.
Armed ready.
And I said, "Ma'am, no, this is what he told me. Now I want to hear from you."
Right.
So now I can put the pieces together. But she was already ready. And that tells me that the caliber of the parents she was dealing with, we don't want to hear shit about our kids.
That's why we send them to you.
Don't talk that my kid didn't do that. No. I fully expect my kid to act out of character when he's out of my presence. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not putting anything past him when he's not in my sight. So I can't just believe him. I can't just believe you. I have to get the totality of the story and put it all together and come to a conclusion. But the reality is a lot of these teachers are afraid.
They are.
Because of the parent. We don't allow the teachers to be part of the village anymore.
That's right. That's so true.
It's almost parent against the teacher. My kid. My son pranked me the other day.
What he do?
I was so motherfucking mad because I was like, bro, like, I'm so sorry, princess. I keep forgetting we have a.
But she did hear worse at school though. She has heard worse.
I know, but I shouldn't be reinforcing it.
That's right.
So he texts me. He's like, "Mom, this man is harassing me."
Oh wow.
I'm like, "Who? A teacher?" You know, I'm immediately like, "What?" You know what I mean?
Turned up.
And so he like, don't worry about it. I handled him. What? What does that mean? I'm like, "Bro, call me. Like, I'm calling your phone. Answer the phone. Like, text me back." And he sends me a picture of him like, and I'm like, "Bro, see, this ain't what you want to do." Like,
but y'all
I want to find out what's going on, but it's like, for real, teachers are real defensive because parents don't come objective.
And look at the parents
they come ready
with.
to attack.
I went to go and speak at I think I told you about that. On the event, it was at Paul Robeson. So they called me up there to come and speak to a group, and they had them on video, and it was this big thing about the ops. And I didn't know what was going on. And it's the ops, and they go to ops, and all I kept hearing in the video, and these girls about to fight, and the boys around egging them on. They had Detroit police there, and they asked me to come in and speak to the group. But I agree with D-Mac and the rest of you. It's start with the parents, and it was probably myself, one saying one, saw two more mature ladies, like they probably was their grandmas or great grandmas, you know how that go. And then the parents that did show up, when they walked in the door, I'm like, oh, we're going to have to kickbox with them. And I was like, they came in already with that look on their face like,
ready, rah.
Yeah.
Not in terms of problem solving and de-escalating.
Yes,
but
like,
they ready to take it to the next level.
And I'm sitting here like, this where the problem is at. So, I'm sitting around these angry looking young ladies and stuff that's fighting. They don't even know what they're fighting for. And they sat down and they sit on the other side. They didn't want to sit up next to me and the other mature ladies and stuff. And they ain't grimming. I'm like, I said, let me ask everybody a question. Why is everybody so mad? Like, seriously.
But their parents be mad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I asked the whole room. I was them and their parents.
What I don't understand, parents, if y'all are parents out here listening or watching, I want to know why some parents do not try to get the whole story before they react. Is that the call? We got a caller.
Yay!
Yes. Hello.
Hey, who are we speaking with?
Hello.
Hey, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is LaJoya.
Hey, LaJoya.
Hey, LaJoya.
Thank you for calling, lady.
Hello. So, my position stems from several different factors.
Okay.
But when you're introducing a gun into any, and I just commented this, but when you're introducing a gun into any environment, it could be extremely dangerous. But when you have children involved, that's and then we're talking about teachers defending classrooms. This ain't martial law. But on top of that, the threat is more likely to be internal than external in most situations. In particular, let's be specific. If we're thinking of Detroit public schools, it's not a lot of outside threats. We don't have a lot of people. It ain't no mass shootings going on.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Knock on wood.
Yes,
Exactly. But what's happening is you're having, just like the young lady said, you're having fights in the schools, fights in the classroom, teachers and students having altercations. These are the scenarios that we are living in. Therefore, it would never be a good idea to introduce a gun into that situation. There's too much heightened passion there. There's too much. There's too many variables. What if we're in a parent-teacher conference situation and things get heightened, and the teacher feels like, oh, I'm being threatened, and they go pull out the gun? What if, like you said, the teacher is outnumbered? Let's be clear. Teachers are outnumbered in these classrooms. If those kids wanted to jump a teacher, they could. And then what happens with the gun?
D-Lo, you want to say
too
something?
many variables involved. And then where is the gun education going to come in for the students? It's not just the teachers who need to be educated about gun safety. The students also need to be educated about gun safety. Just like you have a gun at your home. You're going to want to educate your children on gun safety. There are too many variables.
Okay.
I feel it. Yeah. I think Uncle D-Lo had a question for you.
I was just going to ask, so with me, I went to Henry Ford High School, and in our high school, we had a mini police department in there. So what about that? Like, what y'all feel about that? Like having a mini police department in there.
That's the police. That's not a civilian.
But even
that's
still,
not
like,
somebody who went and got a CPL, and they're trained. They go through training continuously.
But what I'm saying, like, what about incorporating like mini police departments in a lot of these inner city schools?
Would you feel more comfortable with that rather than the teachers being armed, LaJoya?
I would never feel comfortable with the teacher being armed. As far as having police inside of a building or inside of a school, I think that it creates a certain dynamic.
I can see having the police in the school.
Yes.
Can I weigh
creates
in?
a certain dynamic.
Yes,
What are we
absolutely.
teaching our children? To be policed.
No, not saying where they're like at each class monitoring every class, but when you have those serious situations, you have that. You have that to rely on. You know what I'm saying?
Fix the root of the problem, and you won't need that.
I agree with you, LaJoya. For the past 8 years, I've been in the 2A movement, the 2A amendments, because I believe that we have a right to bear arms under the Constitution, and nobody should take that away. But definitely, I offer to have children bring in 3D plastic guns, mold guns, to teach the children how to disarm them, to arm them, to clean them. Learn how to lock a box up, teach them everything you need to know about a gun, because if a student come with one, at least somebody know how to take it, apprehend them.
And that needs to be a continuous training.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
It should be part
that's
of the
something
curriculum.
that you should teach your children as well. Yes.
Absolutely.
And yes, and that's something that should be continuous, because just as was stated earlier, just because you go through a CPL class or you go to a range, that doesn't mean that you're accurate. And
Thank you.
You could be an accurate shoot, but that don't mean you're a quick draw.
And just because you're an accurate shoot doesn't mean you know how to conduct yourself in the midst of a heightened crisis, emergent situation, right?
Exactly. All of these variables weigh. You would have to be in certain training situations like the police go through. Where you're having to
I feel like put 10 of these teachers through the police academy.
Yeah.
And then their position is security as well as teachers. I mean, I feel like people can have dual roles.
I think so too.
I don't think when we limit people to just one role, first of all, Teachers, if we just limited them to teachers, then they don't have to give a fuck about our kids.
I'm a teacher and a nurturer.
Yeah. So they're teachers. I'm so sorry, Princess. Oh my God.
I've been a teacher. I taught
I want my son's teachers to be teachers. I want them to care.
Yes.
I want them to be a motivator.
Yes.
I want them to be protectors.
Yes. Right.
So I want them to have multiple roles.
That's yes. Right.
I don't want to limit them just teach my kid, because now you're teaching
Protect
all kids as if they're all the same.
That's why I said that your students should be able to trust you in situations.
Yes. And that goes to, that's a part of, like, the whole village is supposed to be that way. Even your neighbors, you feel like, hey, if I didn't see something, my back was turned and something's going on with my kid and you was right there, I would expect you to be, a protector as well, because I know I would do the same. You understand? If I seen something going on with D-Mac's son, y'all...
Okay, we keep talking about the teachers and the students, right? Let's talk about the parents, because there's a role that the parents have to play in this not even being a subject.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we wouldn't have the threat. We wouldn't have the threat of school shootings by adolescents bringing weapons into the school if parents were paying attention, being more aware of the surroundings of their children in terms of accessibility to weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something?
Like, this doesn't even... Yes, ma'am.
I just want to ask them a question. Princess, you said Cody, right? Now, when you guys take book bags in, are you allowed to take any kind of book bag in your school?
Yeah.
So at my school, we don't. You have to have a clear book bag to enter the school. And I think that that's part of helping the problem.
But let me ask you a question. Do you have the clear book bags and the metal detectors? Because kids are smart enough not to put it in the book bag if it's clear.
Yeah.
Now, you're right about that. We don't have the metal detectors. But again,
they have metal detectors.
They do. And I can't really explain it. And like I said, anything can happen anywhere. And I can't wait for us to get them. But they thoroughly check those students.
They do?
They come in classrooms and check them thoroughly. They check lockers without them even knowing they check lockers. Because we are a charter school and we are one of the schools, we have 3 schools in Inkster, but because we're small schools, they have to go through those lockers. They have to go through those book bags and they check those classrooms. They're hands on down to the superintendent. He come right in like, let me check them pockets, run them.
Okay.
I have a question.
Do
we still have somebody on the line?
I like LaJoya.
LaJoya, yeah, I like it.
Thank you for calling, LaJoya. We appreciate you, my baby.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey, LaJoya.
Her response was awesome.
I have a question. And Princess, I'm going to direct this to you because you have friends in school, right? Do you have any friends who may have lost people to gun violence?
Not that I know of.
Do you know of any students in your school who may have lost people to gun violence? No? Okay, so what I was going to ask, maybe not for you, I'll just put it to the panel. There are students who may feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
With teachers having guns in the classroom because maybe they lost their father to gun violence, or their brother, or their mother, or their sister, or someone close to them, and it's almost like the presence of a gun is distracting to them in terms of focusing on their education because of the trauma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That they may have experienced.
How would they even know that this teacher?
Well, first of all, you're gonna know because first of all, it has to be legislated.
Thank you.
So if you can't just vicariously send teachers in school with guns, there has to be legislation that allows this, right?
Right.
And so if that's known, then the students are going to know that some teachers, if maybe not even their teacher, somebody in this building has a gun on them.
Right.
And, you know, when it's trauma involved, like I lost my brother to gun violence, then I don't want to be around no guns. And if I'm around a gun and then my anxiety.
PTSD.
You understand what I'm saying? Talk to me about that, D. What you say?
Just to speak to what she was saying about the kids learning about guns, when we agreed that most of the time school shootings happen, it's kids that went to the school. So I don't know if I agree with that 100%.
They already being taught. That's how they know to
you know what I'm saying?
Come in there and use it.
With what you said, like I do feel like that can trigger some anxiety, but at the same time, knowing that you do have that extra layer of protection, I think that could help too. Like more so than it would, you know what I'm saying, be a defect, because like I said, you have these situations where, like, just speak on Columbine for a second, like where they just come up in there, you know what I mean? Like, and you
unsuspecting.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's like, wouldn't you want to be able to duck under your desk like they tell you to do? And you know, like, you know, your teacher is equipped to at least try to handle the situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I totally agree with you.
Because she may as well be under the desk with us.
Exactly.
What she gonna do? Stop a bullet?
And then, like the clip was saying earlier, where they go at teachers first. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
because you eliminate the adult threat.
Yeah.
And then you go for the most vulnerable. All right, you guys, we have 3-4 minutes left. We're going to go around the table. We want to offer our viewers a final thought.
Yay.
Princess, do you have a final thought for our viewers? Do you want to offer one? You don't have one? We appreciate you coming.
We do.
And we appreciate you answering our questions.
It's so sweet.
And I'll take hers.
Right. What's your final thoughts?
That definitely we should have, you know, since 2A is an amendment right, when you come out your mother's womb, that your right starts. Right. So train them as early as you can. You never know, a 5-year-old could apprehend someone. You know what I mean? So let's get everybody trained in schools as a curriculum. That's it.
So you feel like gun safety should be on part of the academic curriculum?
It should be part of the academic curriculum because our president says that, yes, it should be in there available for a teacher or a principal to be able to protect the school.
I see everybody else train their kids up at 3 or 4.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't they?
In the country, they have them shooting deer, killing deer.
Uncle D-Lo, what's your final thought, my boy?
I'm still kind of on the fence with it. I would have to really see how they would want to do it as far as like the educational part of it.
The logistics.
You know what I'm saying? But the teachers having one, I'm open to it and teaching kids the responsibility of a gun and how that can change or what that looks like. You feel me? I'm all for that if it's done right.
Yeah. I feel it.
Yeah. I think,
what's your final thought?
Again, with proper protocol, I think it could work, but not for everyone. With proper training, I even think it should be some police training, and I think you should be certified.
I love it.
And I pray that those people that are able to do that will not make the first decision to grab the gun.
Yes. Pray first.
Yes. Pray first.
Yes.
There
pray.
we go.
What's your final thought, Ted?
My final thought, I agree with pretty much everyone is saying the same thing. We all on board. I do not oppose if they put that into place. I really do believe that we need more security for our children. I do believe that our children need to know more how to protect themselves so everybody else know it. And yes, it goes with proper training and checking mental status, checking people's temps,
consistently.
Okay. You said what, babe? You said what?
Consistently.
Yeah, consistently. Okay. Not because they want the job. Okay. But yeah, that's it. I'm with it.
My final thought is I just feel like if a person that wanted to attack the schools, attack our children in an educational environment, if they knew that there were more than just one resource officer armed, then we're no longer a soft target. I'm not with arming everyone. I'm not with arming every teacher. I'm with background check. I'm with psychological background check. I'm also with extensive training. It's not enough for you to have a license to carry a gun. I need you to know how to handle a crisis situation with some poise and accuracy.
That's right.
Conservativeness.
And on that note, we out this mug.
Peace.